Sometimes good to tune in to what they're saying, in particular what they're saying about food. Now, I've been in the industry about 25 years now. I've had my fair share of discussions about rice and pasta as competitors. When I tune in and listen to what my two boys are saying, things have changed. They talk about fajitas, burritos, chimichangas, sushi, noodles, Malaysian pancakes, pita bread, chapatis, wraps, panini. The space in which they talk about food is cluttered. It's cluttered with an ever-growing competitive set for potatoes. And for them, food is exciting. Okay, and it's going to be exciting in the future. Things came to a head in the Clayton household about 3 months ago. True story. It was the usual Friday night conversation. What are we going to do for dinner this evening? The options on the table were the all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet or fish and chips. I lost out on this occasion. I said, what about fish and chips? Why don't we do that? What my eldest son said still haunts me. First of all, he said, Dad, you're so boring. Okay, which he says most days, that's nothing new. But the killer line was, I want to see the Chinaman set fire to my food at the teppanyaki counter. For him, food is exciting. Now, I can't attribute changing consumption habits just to my two children alone. There's a lot going on out there. But what it does do is it causes me to reflect and ask some questions. Are we excited about potatoes? Are we excited about what we do for a living? Do we share that excitement, and do we bang the drum? Okay, that's a question for us all to reflect on. It's very unfair. It's unfair for two reasons. First of all, it's rhetorical. You probably know that. And secondly, what it does is it triggers a whole set of other questions. What is this drum? Where do I get it? How do I bang it? And how do I know this isn't going to be some random cacophony rather than a symphony? Okay, so that's the key point. And that's what Potato Council have been trying to build over the last 3 years. And it's an activity we launched at Harrogate last year. And where we've got to now is 5 very simple yet very exciting propositions for the potato industry. And these are the messages we believe we need to share, and we'll talk about who we share with in a minute. Good for you, good for so many meals, good for the planet, good for GB PLC, good for tight budgets. Now, these aren't particularly new. What is new is the comprehensive evidence base that sits behind each of these, and that's something we've been working on over 3 years now. I've just teased out, I haven't time to go through them all. I've teased out one particular example here, good for the planet. Some of the research that Cranfield University have delivered for us puts the evidence squarely behind this statement. We've had a good look at water usage and water scarcity. GB versus the rest of the world. We win hands down. We've looked at water use and water scarcity compared with pasta and rice. We win hands down. These are positive messages. We could run through loads of these on health. For example, we know where we stand in terms of the potassium loading we can put into the diet. We win hands down. There are so many positives around this circle that we can use, and the point is how we use them effectively and how we bang that drum in symphony rather than as a cacophony going forward. So our commitment is really to keep that evidence base flowing, but we need commitments from other people. We need commitments from each and every one of you if we're going to make the effective symphony that I'm talking about. We've put together all sorts of resources, and I can ask lots more rhetorical questions based on this. Potato contributing as much potassium as 3 bananas. Okay, bananas get all the credit so often. How often does that sort of language come up in your pub conversations, your dinner conversations, conversations in the local community, with MPs, so on? There's a lot to shout about, and there's a lot of good news going forward for potatoes. Our contribution to the rural economy and to GB PLC is staggering. It's £5 billion. Okay, that's something to be proud of, and it's something to shout about. We're exporting seed now to over 50 countries worldwide. We are trading on our superior plant health status. It is something to be proud of, and it is something to shout about. So what I'm going to ask you to do today, our commitment is we keep supplying the resources. We put the evidence in front of you. We want you to get much more involved in how we shout about these positive attributes of the potato, and we're asking for your pledges to sign up to one voice. Now, the reason I'm doing this at the beginning of the meeting is I would wager that some of our following speakers will talk about One Voice. I would like you to nod furiously when they do so. If you don't, I will. But at the end of the day, what I want from you is we've changed the feedback forms for this event, and we're now asking you to sign up and take part in this campaign. At this point, some of you are getting very edgy and nervous. I'm not a political animal, I don't want to do this, I don't know how to get involved and so on. It comes with different entry levels. For those of you who just want to keep it quite passive, it's signing up to things like providing postcards into schools to participate in the schools programme, it's arranging meetings with MPs, it's displaying car stickers. You can take this at a very simple, quite passive level, or you can get much more involved. That is up to you, but I do request that you sign up today. If you sign up, you'll be in good company. The NFU have already signed up, British Potato Trade Association have signed up, Fresh Potato Suppliers Association and Potato Processors Association. All of your key trade associations are already part of this campaign. It needs your support. Why bother? It's about the positive backstory, okay? And it's about embedding that positive backstory with all our decision makers, be they local, national, or international. Just to give you a few examples, we've recently completed consultations on water abstraction. Some of you will know quite a lot of detail about these. But being able to put the positive backstory in front of the team that's dealing with that puts us on the front foot. That's what it's about. Some of you may have invested in AD facilities over the recent years, months, whatever. Getting that positive backstory in front of the planners is an important part of the process. You may want to interact with Department of Health, Public Health England. You might be interested in how potatoes are represented in the recipe pack that the whole nation gets. Making sure they have that positive backstory up front is an important part of that process. I think I'm going to stop now. I'm going to leave it to our trade associations to tell the story in a little bit more detail, which I'm sure they will join in doing. The one thing I do want, I want lots of these forms back today. You are part of a national campaign to make sure we can bang that drum in symphony. Thank you very much.